Continuing the excitement of the St. Kitts and Nevis Carnival 2022-23 Sugar Mass 51 pageantry, Kelaine Gale emerged as the new National Carnival Swimwear Queen. Held at the Warner Park Event Stadium, the Carambola White Sands sponsored contestant competed with several talented young women and was able to take away the title with 619.5 points. The first runner-up position was captured by Toriana Freeman with 598 points, who was sponsored by the St. Kitts Marriott Resort. Here are some highlights of the presentations. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
The police are investigating the death of 21-year-old Javel Alford of St. Paul's, who was stabbed fatally during the street jam on 4th Street. The incident occurred sometime around 10 a.m. on Monday, December 26th, Boxing Day. Alford sustained what appeared to be a stab wound and was rushed to the JNF General Hospital by police officers using a police vehicle. He was being treated for his injury but succumbed sometime later. An autopsy will be scheduled to determine the exact cause of death. Persons with information regarding this incident are urged to contact the Violent Crime Unit by calling 467-1887, 467-1888, 662-3468, their nearest police station, or the crime hotline at 707, where information can be given anonymously. Investigations into the matter are ongoing. Meanwhile, police confirmed that a man who was arrested recently is receiving care at the psychiatric ward at the JNF General Hospital after he was seen smashing bottles along the sidewalk in an undisclosed location. In a video being circulated on social media of the arrest, the man was seen aggressively accosted by one of the two police officers who arrived on the scene. In response to the incident, the police issued the following statement. An incident involving a police recruit and a civilian that occurred on December 25, 2022 was brought to the attention of the High Command of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force. The incident was caught on video and circulated widely on social media. Given what was in the video, we understand why the public would be very concerned. The High Command wants to assure the public that we have well-established protocols and procedures in place for police officers to follow when responding to reports and apprehending or arresting suspects. We have already begun looking into the matter and a number of steps have been taken. The Office of Professional Standards has been tasked with investigating the case. This office is responsible for receiving, processing, and supervising internal affairs investigations that involve allegations of acts of misconduct made against members of the police force. Our officers are here to protect and serve and to do so with honor on a daily basis. Where this is not the case, all reports of misconduct will be investigated. Meanwhile, in another police report, the police have arrested and charged Sherburn Eddy of Taylor's Village for the offences of threat to kill and malicious damage. The offences were committed on December 14th and 19th, respectively. He received the charges on December 23 and 24, respectively. The incidents, which are already under investigation by the police, were also made through a video that was being circulated on social media. Eddy, according to police, is in custody. I'm Andre Huey for SKN Newsline.
Point of order.
You should be here.
Listen. Listen.
You should be here.
You should be here.
You should be here.
What if Cannibal sail on the ark again?
You should be here. You should be here.
One thing for sure.
Thank you for
for shopping at Smart Electronics throughout the year.
Happy holidays from Smart Electronics
and Island Electronics.
When you're looking to sell, buy, rent, or manage a property, your answer has to be Diamond Real Estate and Management St. Kitts, Dreams. They provide oversight of real estate and physical property in St. Kitts and Nevis, perform regular maintenance, utility payments, and safety checks to ensure your property is well kept. Dreams manages and optimizes your rental listing, recruits tenants, and much more. Looking to sell that parcel of land or property, or dreaming of owning your own? Trust Dreams under the leadership and experience of its CEO, Velma Merchant. Many can attest to her professionalism and customer service. Diamond Real Estate Management St. Kitts. Call 663-7326 or visit their office at 15 Shadwell Industrial Estate, making your real estate dreams come true. The management of Quality Cleaning Service would like to wish all its customers over the past year a wonderful, peaceful, and joyous Christmas and a prosperous 2023 when it comes. Quality Cleaning Service is grateful to its customers for their patronage and support over the past year and looks forward to serving you in the new year. Quality Cleaning Service, professional quality cleaning service with a personal touch. Quality, value, peace of mind. Located at 58 James Street, Bastyr, St. Kitts and Nevis. Call 665-8042.
You should be here.
Despite all the controversies surrounding Carnival festivities.
The newly opened recycling facility on Nevis is a crucial part of the recycling project executed by the Republic of China on Taiwan and the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, declares Taiwanese Ambassador His Excellency Michael Lin during the opening ceremony of the facility recently. The opening ceremony was held at the recycling plant located at the sanitary landfill on Nevis. The ambassador disclosed that over 20,000 pounds of recyclables were collected on St. Kitts and Nevis as part of this project thus far.
I'm proud to share that during the last 6 months, a total quantity of over 20,000 pounds of recyclables were collected under our projects. With the new facility going online today, I'm confident that we will establish a more functional and efficient recycling system in Nevis.
Nevis Deputy Premier Eric Evelyn, who was the Federal Minister of Environment when the project was conceptualized, said this project is a step in the right direction in environmental protection.
I am still very, very passionate about the environment. I'm very passionate about what happens to the environment. I'm very passionate about us in St. Kitts and Nevis not littering. I'm very passionate about what happens to our ocean, what happens to our marine life. And I think this is a step in the right direction. This recycling project to get the thousands and thousands of bottles that we have lining the streets, in our guts, going into the ocean, off of the streets.
Permanent Secretary in the Federal Ministry of Sustainable Development, Environment and Climate Action, Sharon Rattan, stressed the importance of proper garbage disposal, pointing out that the project helps in this regard. Nevis, she said, is ahead of St. Kitts in proper garbage disposal and recycling.
But I'm pleased to report when we started this project that we observed that Nevis was 10 steps ahead of St. Kitts in terms of your behavior, your concern, your commitment to disposal. It is happening in St. Kitts, just not as fast as we see in Nevis. And I think that is commendable. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Manager of the St. Kitts and Nevis Solid Waste Management and Recycling Project, Ms. Joyce Chang, gave a synopsis on the work being done so far, including preparation for the recycling plant on Nevis.
And we also spend time to training our employees to tell them how to operate the machine, and also we also trying to deliver more message with our cooperation, and which is also help us we can working until now. And so far probably you already know that. So during this 1.5 years we already set up the public location for the recycling collection, which is 7 locations in St. Kitts and Nevis.
She thanked all the stakeholders and households that have contributed to the recycling project thus far. After the official speeches, a demonstration was done of the baler at the recycling plant, which is used to compress recyclables brought to the location. The demonstration was led by Mr. Rudy Brown, landfill manager of the Nevis Solid Waste Management Authority. The opening of this recycling plant is part of the St. Kitts and Nevis Solid Waste Management and Recycling Project, which was officially launched early this year on Friday, March 4th, at a ceremony held at the Solid Waste Management Conference Room in Taylors Range, Basse-Terre. It is being executed jointly by the Federal Ministry of Environment, Climate Action and Constituency Empowerment and the Taiwan Technical Mission in St. Kitts and Nevis.
The Federation's top political leaders, Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew and Premier Mark Brantley, used their Christmas messages to assure citizens of a government working to transform the economy and to encourage citizens to work together and to support each other. Prime Minister Dr. Drew spoke to the need for hard work for the continued advancement of the country, indicating that better days are ahead. Meanwhile, Premier Brantley encouraged citizens to use this season to recommit to a kinder and gentler St. Kitts and Nevis.
The pandemic years have tested us, but those dark times are behind us, and we can now look forward with renewed hope to a more promising future as we work fervently to overcome the challenges that were set before us. You can rest assured that your government is working vigorously to restore stability and to transform and evolve our economy. Brighter days are ahead for St. Kitts and Nevis. We are a strong and resilient people. Together, always together, we will keep pushing through and we'll reap the rewards of our hard work and dedication to the advancement of our nation. This Christmas, as I reflect upon our Federation and its people, I can truly say I am proud of the direction in which we are heading and what we have achieved in spite of our challenges. I encourage us all to take a moment to indulge in the festivities and our rich culture.
Let us this Christmas take care of our neighbors and our friends. Let us take care of those that are less fortunate. Let us, when we cook our delicious meals on Christmas Day, reach out to our neighbor, reach out to that single mother, reach out to that person who's living on their own, that elderly individual, and make sure that we can bring them some cheer. Oftentimes, we are consumed with gift giving and with buying expensive things. And certainly, if you can, then you should do so. But more importantly is time, love, affection, showing each other that this is what the spirit of Christmas is all about. Let us therefore enjoy our Christmas season. Let us be there for each other. Let us be our brother's keeper and our sister's helper. Let us have the type of Nevis and the type of St. Kitts that we can all be proud of. Let us have a kinder and gentler country. And let us take care of each other and let us look out for each other.
Citizens and residents are now anticipating their New Year's messages, providing details on their economic and social plans for 2023. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
Point of order.
You should be here.
Listen. Listen.
You should be here.
You should be here.
You should be here.
What if carnival sail on the ark again?
You should be here. You should be here.
One thing for sure.
Thank you for shopping at Smart Electronics throughout the year.
Happy holidays from Smart Electronics
and Island Electronics.
You're looking to sell, buy, rent, or manage a property, your answer has to be Diamond Real Estate and Management St. Kitts, Dreams. They provide oversight of real estate and physical property in St. Kitts and Nevis, perform regular maintenance, utility payments, and safety checks to ensure your property is well kept. Dreams manages and optimizes your rental listing, recruits tenants, and much more. Looking to sell that parcel of land or property, or dreaming of owning your own? Trust Dreams under the leadership and experience of its CEO, Velma Merchant. Many can attest to her professionalism and customer service. Diamond Real Estate Management St. Kitts. Call 663-7326 or visit their office at 15 Shadwell Industrial Estate, making your real estate dreams come true. The management of Quality Cleaning Service would like to wish all its customers over the past year a wonderful, peaceful, and joyous Christmas and a prosperous 2023 when it comes. Quality Cleaning Service is grateful to its customers for their patronage and support over the past year and looks forward to serving you in the new year. Quality Cleaning Service, professional quality cleaning service with a personal touch. Quality, value, peace of mind. Located at 58 James Street, Bastyr, St. Kitts and Nevis. Call 665-8042.
Online radio has never been this great. It's Voice of the Caribbean Radio at voiceofthecaribbean.net. Tune into Voice of the Caribbean Radio for great Caribbean programs, news, entertainment, sports, and current affairs. Wake up each morning and be inspired with One Day at a Time with Kim Huey. Stay abreast with news across the Caribbean and internationally with the Caribbean News Hour and be entertained with shows like Reggaeville, Caribbean Classics, and Jive Music Show. Visit our website, download our Android mobile app, or listen us on TuneIn Radio. There is so much more on Voice of the Caribbean Radio, reaching the Caribbean and beyond. Check website or app for program schedule.
Auto Plus Car Wash, located on the College Street Gut, Bastyr, St. Kitts. Bring your car to Auto Plus Car Wash to remove water stains, wiper marks. Get your doors, roof panel cleaned, seat floor mats, buffing, headlights, and engine wash. You get quality service at the best price at Auto Plus Car Wash. They really care for your car. Call 765-5140 or visit them on the College Street Gut, Bastyr, St. Kitts. Auto Plus Car Wash, where the service is number one.
Three Jamaicans are in custody in connection with the seizure of approximately 2,000 pounds of cocaine in the country's territorial waters this morning. The cocaine is valued at $1.1 billion. The Jamaica Defense Force says about 4:15 members of the Maritime, Air and Cyber Command intercepted a vessel transporting 19 large and carefully prepared bales of cocaine. The three people aboard the vessel were detained. The JDF says the cocaine is believed to have been transported from South America.
Well, turning our attention to news about the country's economy tonight, namely inflation. Now, if you ask the Prime Minister about it, he will tell you that he remains confident that his administration's measures to mitigate an added pinch on your pockets are proving quite fruitful. Laurentia Smith is on the story tonight.
Done what we can and looking at what other things we can do to assist. The nation leader is defending his administration management of inflation, even though the Inter-American Development Bank noted that government's price control changes are likely to have an influence on small and medium businesses negatively, along with the increase in power bills.
Well, IDB have to see what we have done. We are targeting initiatives to combat inflation. First of all, what we have to recognize is that it's external forces beyond our control that's feeding the inflationary pressures that we are suffering.
Now, Davis highlighted some mitigation efforts from the government on inflation, among them dropping duty on some food items.
Engage in conversations with transportation, with MSC and other boat owners that bring containers into the country. I've been able to get the 35% reduction in the cost of containers coming into the Bahamas from the Far East. We are working on getting a similar reduction from the U.S. and it's already dropping.
Government has committed to increase minimum wage from $2.10 to $2.60. Now, public servants have already received their increase, while private sector's increase are expected to come into effect January 1st. Asked if government is worried if the increase coupled with the high cost of doing business will lead to layoffs.
We don't expect it to have any impact. And in consultation with them, don't forget it's not the increase in minimum wage was not a unilateral decision. It was a decision made by industry under the Tripartite Council, which include business, government, and unions.
Meantime, reporters placed the gas retailer issues at his feet. He had this to say.
We did enough for the gas retailers.
Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Adriana Garcia opened her natural cosmetic shop 4 months ago in Caracas, betting on Venezuela's moderate economic recovery. And despite many hurdles, she says things have gone well so far.
It's an economy in revision that's just starting to grow again. There is a feeling of normality for commerce, and many shopping centres have started operating again.
The government's decision to relax price controls and allow trading in US dollars has given some businesses and President Nicolás Maduro a second wind in a country where real gross domestic product has shrunk by almost 80% in a decade. Dollars are everywhere these days. Prices in stores, restaurants, and even food carts are listed in dollars. This has partly stabilized prices and brought a veneer of better economic times. Together with more favorable international geopolitics, this has allowed Maduro to venture outside the country, shaking hands with leaders who were trying to oust him until a few months ago and confounding opponents. Juan Guaidó demanded the United States and other democracies recognize as legitimate president after calling Maduro's 2018 re-election a sham, spends most of his days in a Spartan office. Photos on the wall show him at the height of his efforts to topple Maduro, and although opposition parties are now seeking to end his mandate, he remains undeterred.
We need to bring this to a presidential election, and we need to strengthen the opposition to facilitate talks in Mexico. But let me be clear, it's not because the opposition is divided that Maduro keeps the power. He keeps usurping power because this is a dictatorship.
Maduro's regime has agreed, in theory, to resume negotiations with the opposition in Mexico and arrange free and fair presidential elections in 2024 in exchange for eased U.S. sanctions on the oil sector.
Maduro is hoping the economy will continue improving enough to give him a chance to win the next presidential elections outright, especially if the opposition remains as divided as it is right now.
But economists say the improvements have done little for the majority of Venezuelans.
Maduro
is trying to credit himself for the increase in economic activity, but all they've done is stop causing hyperinflation. Still, if things stand, it will create some peace among the middle and upper class. But this doesn't mean better conditions for those who go to public hospital or need public services.
But for now, avoiding hyperinflation might be enough to offer some opportunities to businesses like Adriana's and the government more time to maneuver. Alessandro Ampietti, Al Jazeera, Caracas.
Hundreds of thousands of people have been displaced in recent months as the M23 armed group advanced towards the city of Goma in Democratic Republic of Congo. To the north, Ugandan soldiers arrived just over a year ago under an agreement with Congo's government. Uganda's army says it's pursuing a Ugandan armed group called the ADF that's responsible for massacring thousands of civilians. Rights groups say the violence has increased since the Ugandan troops arrived. Both Uganda and Rwanda have been accused of meddling and looting minerals ever since they first invaded Congo in the 1990s.
It's not everyone who has interest in a more stable DRC. There is some non-state actors and perhaps even some state actors who need this to be going on so that they may continue with their traffics.
6 months ago, East African leaders agreed to send a regional stabilization force. Kenyan soldiers are the latest to arrive under that banner. Uganda, Burundi and South Sudan have said they'll also contribute troops.
The risk is there that the different countries that are intervening will pursue their own narrow interests. And many of these countries have in the past, particularly the neighboring countries of Burundi, Rwanda and Uganda, have supported proxy armed groups against each other, but also against the Congolese state.
More than 20 years after their mission began, the popularity of UN peacekeepers is at an all-time low. Many Congolese blame them for failing to protect civilians. Demonstrators have burned some UN convoys and camps in recent months. Many people say they're tired of foreign forces.
Since the beginning, the solution for DRC is to have a state which is responsible, a state that can defend its territory, and a state which can also defend and protect the human rights of their own citizens. So militarization and it's not the solution. For the last 20 or 30 years in DRC, we have these foreign intervention, and they didn't give the solution. And we can't say that this regional initiative, which is a military initiative, will bear fruits.
The M23 armed group is widely understood to be backed by neighbouring Rwanda. Its fighters have been photographed alongside Rwandan soldiers. UN peacekeepers have filmed hundreds of fighters crossing the border. Rwanda denies backing the group. Almost nobody in Congo believes it. In cities across Congo, people have protested against Rwanda and Uganda, who they blame for decades of military aggression. They've called for Western powers to cut off military aid to Rwanda. The US, and more recently France and Germany, have criticised Rwanda for its support, but none of Rwanda's backers have applied sanctions. Last week, voter registration began for elections that are due to be held a year from now. Leaked documents showed the last election 4 years ago was rigged. President Felix Tshisekedi was announced the winner. He wants to run again. Many people are wondering if next year's election will be free and fair, or if it will even happen on time.
When you look at the documents of the National Electoral Commission, it's already in there as a factor that might delay elections themselves. So they're preparing that argument. Of course, no credible election can take place if there's so much violence that voting can't take place.
The violence shows no sign of stopping. M23 said it pulled out of the town of Kibumba last week following international calls for its fighters to withdraw and disarm. It has since continued fighting on another front, pushing towards coltan mines that it controlled in the past. More than 500,000 people remain displaced from their homes, mostly because of armed conflict. Recent peace talks in Nairobi have failed to bring any change on the ground. For now, people must wait to see if the arrival of more foreign forces in the months ahead and the upcoming election will make things better or worse. Malcolm Webb, Al Jazeera. The SKNFA will in the new year take domestic football back to the communities. In a recent interview on Island Team Morning Show, President of the SKNFA, Atiba Harris, disclosed the plans are in place to have domestic club football competition hosted in the home and away format in the various communities. This, he said, will help empower the clubs and the communities where they are from.
The other things we plan to introduce is the home and away concept. We're aiming for next season. We've already spoken to the clubs are excited. People in St. Kitts and Nevis are excited, and I think it's going to touch every corner, even outside of football, because the small businesses around the various communities, etc. And I think I would openly here challenge the representative for each area. Some of the representatives might have up to 3 clubs in their constituencies. So I'm encouraging. The government have been very welcoming and open to us, and we're looking forward to continue a fruitful partnership.
Mr. Harris also disclosed that the club licensing regulations will be enforced in the coming year.
We want to develop the clubs into proper clubs and not just teams with one or two individual organizing the whole setup. We have the club licensing regulations that's going to be enforced in the upcoming season and beyond, so that way we can have proper organized club. The structure here is what has been defeating us over the years, and we want to have, just like how we have the SKNFA, we want to ensure that the clubs are even stronger, so that way they can go out and represent the various communities. Because as you're aware, we have 26 members that makes up the SKNFA, and we touch every corner of St. Kitts and Nevis. So football have the influence and have a social impact, a social effect.
What has been the custom in recent years is for all the Premier League and SKNFA Division 1 matches to be played at the Warner Park or the Kim Collins Stadium. But according to Mr. Harris, this renewed approach will help football grow in the communities across St. Kitts and Nevis.
Welcome to Newsline Weather Report. I am Janil Boole. Here is a look at the forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. For a more detailed weather report, visit our website at www.skn.org.